What is up, everyone? RJ here with CV Tech, and today I'm giving my first thoughts and impressions on the LG Tribute 5 after 24 hours. Now, if you look at my past video, the unboxing, it says like 13 hours before it's uploaded. However, I did um, unbox it a lot earlier than when I actually uploaded the video and released it. So I have been using it for over a day. So I'm going to give my first thoughts and opinions on this phone. Now, I'm still on the first charge on this device. Um, so, we're going to go through all of that and everything and just kind of give you a few thoughts, my first impressions of the phone, and some things that I've noticed a little bit here and there. So, let's go ahead and get started in with this first thoughts video. Now, I will say the very first thing that caught my attention when I just took it out of the box is the fact that when you look at it from the front, it looks like a really expensive device. You have a complete black front screen. It's completely black in the back, but around the edges here, if you can see it there, it's just got a really nice chrome look to it. And whenever you're looking at this phone up close, you can look at it right here a little bit maybe, and it's just a beautiful phone. I mean, when you're looking at it, it has that what LG calls a 2.5D arch screen or whatever it is, and I kind of like it. I mean, your finger just kind of like rolls off the screen, and I personally like that. I mean, it's really nice to have that. The phone is very thin and it's very light. I mean, the phone is like so light you can about fling it. Um, you know, like I said, I made previously, and with LG phones, I'm not crazy about the back buttons being, the home power button, and the volume rocker and that stuff. But hey, it is what it is. And this phone right here, from what I have noticed already, is very sensitive on the touch, the double touch to wake. There's times I can just pick the phone up and it'll power on and stuff like that. No big deal, really. It's just if you have it in your pocket, have it in your back pocket, whatever, you're going to expect it to occasionally do this number here. So, looking at the screen here, I want to mention first of all, look at the screen. It looks really good, don't it? I mean, you look at the screen and the transitions, it's just so smooth. I mean, for 8 gigabytes of ROM and 1 gigabyte of RAM, this phone, does really well. I would compare this phone sort of similar to the LG Volt 2. See right there, I didn't do nothing and the screen came on. But I would say the LG Volt 2 was a close to this phone here. However, this phone does not pack the lag of the LG Volt 2, and it runs the 410 quad-core Snapdragon processor versus the 210, running the same specs. The only difference is 1.1 versus 1.2, 210 versus the 410, and this phone runs smoother. It's smoother. Downloaded all the apps I wanted to download, even Facebook, and that's been known on these like the LG G Stylo and the Volt 2 to just really bog the phone down to the point where it's just slow and laggy. I've downloaded games, Facebook, all that stuff on this phone here, and I have actually seen no slowdowns. Ran a Geekbench test and all of that, and it does rate, 300 and 8 to 900 on multi-score from what I can remember, which is really low. You can expect no more than that out of a 1.1 quad-core 210 processor. That just ain't going to happen. So that's one of the main things that I seen first of all when I opened the phone and looked at it was the beautiful display in the front. It looks really nice and rubbery feeling in the back. It just feels really good when you hold on to the phone and everything else. Now this is the Tribute 5. Now they did skip the Tribute 3, Tribute 4, and went to the Tribute 5, and that's because it runs Android 5.1. It has a 5 megapixel rear camera, 5 megapixel front facing camera, hence the name Tribute 5. However, hopefully this will get Marshmallow. So that way it'll be, Android 6 instead of Android 5. So we'll see what happens on that there. It may not happen because of the low processor and everything. But one thing I want to make mention of here is you look at the screen, like I said earlier, and it's so vibrant and very beautiful looking. And you would never ever know this phone has only a 480 by 854 resolution screen at only a measly 196 pixels per inch. Now, if I was to pull out the ZTE Prestige that has the exact same screen specs, it looks terrible compared to this LG. This LG here is very beautiful. Wallpaper, of course, was downloaded through Zedge, and I'm about 60% brightness right now, and it just looks really good. Like I said, the phone is super responsive, no issues whatsoever. When I go in here and look at the storage, I have currently 247 gigabytes available. That's after moving some apps to the SD card. However, it did have a software update, and whenever I added all of the available apps to the SD card, it erased a lot of apps. I had to reinstall them. Kind of aggravating there. So the apps that was uninstalled, I just left them on the device and never even bothered with moving them to the SD card. So I thought I'd make mention of that there. It had 2 software updates when I got the phone activated and turned on and everything. But I still can't get over on how professional. If you really was not looking and you just picked this phone up out of the blue and looked at the front of it and how the design is made with a nice curved screen and the silk and the chrome accents around it, you would never know this was not a flagship type device. I mean, that's just the way I feel about it. 5-inch display, and it's just a really beautiful phone. Now, I want to make mention of a couple of cons that I have that I have noticed, and there's always some cons I want to make mention of. I won't get into the pros right now because I've not really used it enough to give a final verdict and everything on my thoughts for pros. However, in the negative section, I will throw this in there, and that is the fact that yet again another phone with absolutely no notification light in the front. If you get a text message and it's on vibrate or whatever and you don't hear it, there is no blinking light like you see on the Volt 2 or the Volt 1 or or nothing like that. This phone right here has got absolutely no notification lights whatsoever, just blinking when you get anything. So that's kind of a bummer. I was expecting at least a little small light that blinks, and it don't have that. So if you're interested in having a phone that has a notification light that you can see what's going on, then you may be a little disappointed in the fact that this does not have that. It's not a deal breaker in my opinion in any way, but it is something that it is well mentioned in my opinion. Like I said, the phone is very light. I'm still on the first charge, and I still have 21% battery life after the first full charge. So not too awful bad. Like I said, the phone does run very smooth. Going into here, you can just see. I mean, there's really no slowdown. It's just quick, fast. It opens up apps pretty well. It says online that it has like 4.2 gigabytes free out of 8 gigabytes. However, whenever I activated it and all, I only had like 3.4 or 3.5 gigs available for user. And after downloading the majority of the apps that I always use, I was down to around 2.5 gigs. So that's not too awful bad. I did use my Samsung Galaxy J3 the daily driver for a long time, and the full review is coming up very soon. And you might ask me, the differences between the Samsung and the Tribute 5. Would I choose the Tribute 5 over the J3? Absolutely not. The J3 is one of the best, is the best phone I've ever owned, and it's going to probably return back to my daily driver here very soon because I absolutely love the phone. Not had a phone that responds like this one does ever. So thought I'd make mention of that as well. However, the Tribute 5 is no slouch. Now, I did pay only $39.99 at Best Buy online for this device. The phone was 80 bucks, regular price, on sale for 50% off, half off. Now, I'm not sure how long the deal goes on. I'd always go to bestbuy.com, put in Boost Mobile, check it out. If you can get it for 40 bucks, I would say grab it. This phone right here is well worth the money. The screen quality, of course, like I said, it is good for only 196 pixels per inch. But, of course, when you look at this phone compared to some 720p displays, you can tell the difference in it and everything. But watching YouTube videos and everything, I mean, it's just really nice. The rear speaker is very small with this little 4 dot down here and everything. But, you know, in the sound quality is a bit teeny, bit tiny. But it does get pretty loud, so you can hear it. And it hooked to my Bluetooth, it hooked to my Jabra Bluetooth really well. Speakerphone sounds good. So far as the call quality, a tad bit muffled, nothing to really, you know, make mention about how, you know, it's clear enough. It's barely got any muffled at all. Reception is good. I've always maintained some pretty decent service, as you can tell there. Not a whole lot of service, but it is enough to make some clear phone calls. However, you know, this has nothing to do with the phone here, but, you know, as Boost Mobile, looking at the coverage maps, keeps on improving and improving, and the LTE is flourishing in my area, and I'm still stuck in 3G. Can't hook into 4G for squat, and I'm still stuck in this slow 3G. But, you know, and that's every different phone. But I gotta say, I really, really do like the Tribute 5. So 40 bucks, if it's still on sale, this is a definite pickup. No questions, in my opinion. It's a definite pickup. I don't think you'd be disappointed. You know, like I said, it's smooth. It does have a little bit of lag here and there. What do you expect? It's a budget phone, 40 bucks on sale. Don't expect a flagship device. Don't expect flagship specs out of a phone that costs 40 bucks. But if you want a decent phone that looks good, looks flagship material from the front here, has a decent battery. The camera, I've not really tested a lot. I've tested the camera inside the house, and it's very grainy. It don't look good. Now, under this bright light, it may look a little bit better. But video recording, you know, driving down the road, whatever, and even self videos, as long as you got good lighting, it takes some pretty good daggone pictures and videos. So anyway, I'm sorry this dragged out so long, but you know, when I get to talking about a phone that I really like, I don't know when to shut up. And the battery is replaceable, so you can buy spare batteries if you wish. It has no NFC, nothing like that, which who really cares for this budget device here. LG done a very good job with this phone. It could have had, you know, 16 gigabytes of onboard storage and 1.5 gigabytes of RAM, and it'd have been awesome, but, you know, hey, can't have it all. It is a budget device, and you pretty much are going to get what you pay for. But in this case here, it's a definite win with 2 thumbs way up on this device. I rate it a solid 10 out of a 10. No real issues so far. So anyway, if you got any questions or comments about the LG Tribute 5, leave them in the comment section below, and I will get back with you as soon as possible. If this was informative in any way, please give me that big thumbs up. I sure would appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do so. Hit that subscribe button somewhere on the, if you're using the PC or using a phone, it's somewhere down below. I'm going to get out of here, so y'all have a good one. Stay tuned for the full review of the Galaxy J3 coming up here soon. Also, after about a week and a half, I will be doing a full review and taking some pictures and videos along the way on both the Galaxy and on the Tribute 5. So stay tuned for all of that, and So yeah, y'all have a good one, and we'll see y'all in the next video.